Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. Today is a reading for all signs. It is a collective reading and it is set for Saturday, the 26th of February. It is not solely set for that date though. Basically, any of my daily readings, if you're watching them on a day that it's not, out of date, it's okay. If the reading still makes sense to you, I believe in the flow and ebb of, spirit and energy and how messages can reach us in the right timing, right? So just be open to that. If something makes sense to you, even though the date may have been originally created at a different time, take the message rather than the date. For those of you that follow along regularly, we're building upon the Sunday reading, which is in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this video if you need to watch it to understand what I'm talking about. And we're kind of looking at where we're heading and what's going on this week. We're ending out the week. It's almost like February's almost over. I don't know what the hell happened. Where did February go? So, for those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu. In there is just some house rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing my readings, how to get in contact with me. If you're interested in a private reading, those are available via PayPal, and I do them live over the phone, or I can videotape them and send them to you. You would have the link available to you privately for a year. So that's also available. Readings are now, just so anybody who watches and knows, readings have now been, as of the first of the year, I decided to raise the price to $60 a reading for an hour, and give or take. I mean, if it's live, it's usually about an hour. If it's videotaped to the reading, it's usually about 45 minutes. But it's a full reading, and it's $60, and there's that. So that is going on, just for my regular viewers, so you guys know that. As people book, I let them know that. So, and beyond that, I think that's it. Let's get into these cards and see what's going on. Oh, please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the content, and subscribe to the channel if you're new to me. Share the video out with your friends so that other people can find me. And leave a question or comment on the video. I do read them all, and I do kind of check in and comment when I can on whatever's being said. So I really appreciate it. I like the feedback. All right, so let's see what's going on. What card are we looking at today? What are we working with today? We got to switch out decks too. We're coming into March, and I don't know what to use for March yet. I haven't settled on a March deck. Knight of Fire. Okay, so we've got this is the Knight of Wands, oftentimes associated with Sagittarian energy, which I know we just came through a Sagittarian moon, did we not? We're actually, well, this is for the 26th, so we just finished on the 25th, which is when I'm filming this, is the Sagittarian moon. So, Knight of Fire is passion. Wands indicates, obviously, fire. Element of spirit. Knights are about, in my opinion, loyalty, service. Sometimes they bring messages with them, right? Sometimes they feel empowered to move forward. This guy definitely looks like he's ready to charge forward, and that's very much a Knight of Wands sort of attribute. Sometimes they can be a bit impulsive. They can be a bit like act first, think later kind of energy. But and also, like a word of warning with the Knight of Wands is that make sure that we have this sort of staying power to kind of keep our efforts, our energy, our goals like up, as we're moving forward, as we're progressing into the weekend, right? And whatever endeavor we're pursuing, right? Or is something pursuing us. Oftentimes, the Knight of Wands can be, a paramour coming at us pretty hot and heavy, right? I don't know that that's necessarily the case for each and every one of you, but if one of you is experiencing somebody that is coming on kind of hot and heavy with a little bit of, heat, like as far as romantic vibes, that could be this Knight of Wands in your space, right? He would be associated with the fire signs, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, but primarily he's associated with Sagittarius energy. And so Sagittarius energy is, in my opinion, well, I think all the fire signs are great in their own ways, but I love Sagittarian energy because it's mutable, similar to my Pisces energy. It's also very expansive, very positive, flirty, fun, but hard to contain. Let's say that, right? Sagittarian energy doesn't want to be held back. It doesn't want to be stopped. It doesn't want to be limited in any way. It really wants to sort of expand out and do its thing. And so if you're in a situation where you're dealing with this, or you are this Knight of Wands, right? Maybe you feel inspired to take action, make movement, bring things about, or pursue something that you need, you desire, right? Because fire is oftentimes associated with the element of desire. We're not talking about like sexual desire necessarily. We're talking about like spiritual desire. Like, I want that. That's going to make me happy at a very deep level. The Knight of Wands is going to want to jump into it, right? And maybe not necessarily think about the whole path, the whole endeavor, what is required of him. And so we want to be careful with this energy. Or if we're dealing with somebody who's representative of this energy, if they're coming on strong in some way, and like with each one of you, it could be something different. It could be, like I said, somebody that's interested in you romantically. It could be a boss. It could be a coworker. It could be a friend that's like, come on, let's do this. Let's get this done. Blah, 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 blah. But you might need to temper that a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because in our Sunday reading, which like I said is down in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading, we had that energy of the Seven of Pentacles underneath this, right? And that to me reminds me, or says like, it's kind of like a reminder of like, maintain balance today, right? We did see, I think, the King of Fire too. The King of Wands came up this week. Did he not? I believe so. He did. He was on Wednesday. So there is this like, maybe this theme of wanting to move forward, maybe move out of a situation, right? Because we did have the underpinning of the Seven of Swords also in the midweek. There could be an awareness, like I said, of a betrayal, a lie, something dramatic, something appearing as if it's one thing and yet it's not. The figuring out of that, and now the desire to either move away from it, move towards it, tell it the fuck off, whatever this Knight of Wands is like getting ready to charge up and do. But that Seven of Pentacles underneath kind of grounds us. And we don't want to lose sight of that energy that is in there, because what that energy will do, in my opinion, is it will give this Knight of Wands the grounding and the focus and the discernment to know when to move, where to move, how to move, and probably, hopefully, teach us how to mitigate our energy or the energy of the situation so it doesn't move too quickly for us. Does that make sense, right? This could be a very dynamic, inspiring energy. It can be very positive, but we want to make sure that it has that staying power, that it maintains itself throughout whatever the experience is that we're dealing with it within. Does that make sense? So in essence, if you've got a project or something you're working on, maintain a certain amount of groundedness while you keep the inspiration sort of high with this Knight of Wands. And then if you temper those two energies together, they can move together quite nicely and bring about a good shift, a good change, and what's the word I'm looking for? Like almost like an educated or informed movement towards that with which we desire. Okay. If somebody's coming on strong with us, the Seven of Pentacles would indicate just ground, be patient, watch the situation, tend to it, and see where it takes you. Look at, what's going on around you. Sometimes the Knight of Wands can be bringing in a little bit of chaos, a little bit of disruption, but not in a bad way. He's not like what's the word? He's not like out to harm anybody. If anything, he's like overly passionate about a subject, a person, a thing, right? And in that passion, he may not see everything quite so clearly. So that Seven of Pentacles that underpins this allows us, if we're the ones not seeing clearly, or if somebody around us is not seeing clearly, that Seven of Pentacles energy allows us to kind of ground and go like, okay, wait, let's look at this here. Let's look at a plan. Let's kind of plan around this. I love, and I'm just using this as an example, but like the phrase would be, I love your inspiration. I love your excitement, but let's really look at like how we can make this work in the long term, right? Now, if some of you are just like over it because we did have that Seven of Swords in the midweek and there was something going on, this could be us trotting off, you know, inspired to move on to bigger and better things that are more in tune with us or more desirable to us. And that's fine too. Just again, my word of warning with the Knight of Wands is make sure that you're not being too impulsive. You're not moving so quickly that you're not paying attention to the smaller details. But again, that Seven of Pentacles is going to be there to guide us, hopefully, if we're listening to that voice, also as we're moving through or towards whatever it is we want. Does that make sense? So kind of temper those energies today and work them to your advantage, because the Knight will provide the inspiration and the action and the energy. The Seven of Pentacles will give you the groundedness, the practicality, the discernment, and sort of like the detail-oriented like care that the situation, person, or whatever you're dealing with may need, so that it becomes something of value or something that's, you know, essentially harvestable, right? Because that's kind of the whole Seven of Pentacles concept, is that through patience and dedication, through close attention, paying close attention and putting in the work, you get to reap the harvest. It just, you know, you may have to be patient. And the Knight of Wands is not all that patient, right? He wants to just jump in there and get her done. Now, if we're feeling like a push-pull between these two energies within ourselves, you know, like the Seven of Pentacles could indicate like, you know, feeling stuck or not necessarily stuck, but maybe a little bit bored, or things aren't moving quickly enough because we're being influenced by this Knight of Wands. Again, I'm going to say it, temper it. Like find that balance between these two, because I think that they could be beautiful energies that work together quite well, that will carry us through the weekend and into next week, into whatever it is we are pursuing, right? Or if we're being pursued a little bit too intensely, maintain that Seven of Pentacles, like attention to detail and patience, and let it show itself to you. Now, let's see what the Seeker Oracle has to say. Hush, listen. Interesting. We haven't seen her before. I love how she's all pink. And she's paying very close attention, right? She's looking straight at us. And she's telling us to listen. And I think that she, to me, right out of the gate when I look at this, aligns more with that Seven of Pentacles than with the Knight of Wands. I'm going to say that right out of the gate. Although I do all like the pinky colors that she's in, which gives me Knight of Wands vibes a bit. But she's saying to me, like, wait a second, just double check. And that's that Seven of Pentacles energy that lies underneath this. Don't like rush into anything, or don't allow anybody to rush you into anything, right? Listen for the cues, the signs around you. Use that Seven of Pentacles energy that underpins this to make an informed, correct decision for yourself. Maybe not necessarily for whatever the person or the situation is demanding, right? Because the Knight of Wands can come in kind of hot and heavy, kind of fast, and overwhelm oneself. And we don't want that. Do not chew that. That's just because it's wood doesn't mean it belongs in your mouth. I mean, I know that Daddy thinks that wood belongs in his mouth, but that's not for you. Okay. I'm going to read you guys Hush, Listen. There are times when we choose not to listen to what's being said. We judge the person we are speaking to, believing ourselves to be more knowledgeable. As a result, their words fall upon deaf ears. It is important not to allow our ego and biases to influence the continuity of a conversation. Hush and listen. Our greatest teachers sometimes appear to us in a form that is not expected. Wondrous opportunities can come from a chance conversation with someone we have judged unfairly. Now this could be doubling back to that midweek Seven of Swords. I'm not saying that the person or situation has been fair, right? Or there wasn't like maybe a lie or a betrayal, but maybe we need to look at it through a different perspective is what this card might be telling us. At other times, a person may offer an opinion of or unsolicited advice we disagree with, and the conversation devolves into an argument. We dismiss what's being said and demand to be heard. Once that happens, we are too busy defending or attacking to listen to what's being said. Hush, listen. Disagreeing does not invalidate someone's point or make it unworthy of our attention. The words might be confronting, but that does not make them untrue or undeserving of further exploration. Put aside preconceived notions and look at the situation from a fresh perspective. Be empathetic. You might find that you are both right, but coming at the heart of the issue from different angles. You might also discover a genuine problem that needs to be addressed. See the good in others. Trust that their intentions are pure. You don't have to heed their advice or guidance, but they are worthy of being heard, as we all are, right? And this is, to me, aligning more with that Seven of Pentacles energy of patience, discernment, attention to, the details. There will also be times when we find ourselves multitasking, not only talking, but doing several other things at the same time. Hush, listen. To listen properly, you need to put everything else aside and give your complete attention. Finally, there are times when we make a conversation all about us and fail to give anyone a chance to speak. Hush, listen. Remember, a conversation involves two people. Give others the same opportunity to share as you would ask for yourself. Sometimes it serves us better to hear than to be heard. And then it says the alternate title is STFU, which means shut the fuck up. Wow. So if we want to go into a situation blazing like the Knight of Wands, or somebody's coming at us like the Knight of Wands, we want to hush and listen to them. We don't want to engage. We want to wait, and we want to let them indicate or inform us through hearing them and their side of things without forming too many opinions. We may just learn something today. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're in the right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the wrong if you listen to them and hear their side of the argument. But there was definitely this thing at the beginning of the week in the Sunday reading where I was feeling like even though something was afoot and we were confused at the beginning of the week by it, and it was revealing itself more and more to be maybe not what we want through that Seven of Swords, these cards here say to me, still, don't make a move just yet. That Seven of Pentacles underneath is saying, wait, be patient, hush, listen, and let it show itself to you even a little more. The Knight of Wands might show you things you don't necessarily like, whether it's in yourself or within a situation or within somebody else. It might be impetuous or impulsive. It might be quick to the tongue and he could cut, but listen, nonetheless. Here is the grounding stone for the day. Enjoy. Ground in your own enjoyment, ground in your own pleasure, ground in keeping your energy high no matter what you're dealing with, right? Enjoyment is about enjoying all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And if there is ugly going on right now for some of you, which there very well could be, try and find where and what you enjoy amidst this, because what that does is it shifts you into a space of gratitude, it shifts you into a higher vibration, and it makes some of these things a whole lot less hectic, heavy, and it makes it easier to just hush and listen and be patient, to be grounded, to be, sort of in that Seven of Pentacles energy of tending to your own crops and worrying about your own harvest and what you're going to be able to bring from this entire situation in the end of it all. But it may take some time, right? That's the Pentacles energy. That is your forecast, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up button, share the video out, leave me a question or comment, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. We will be starting a new weekly and a new month soon. God. All right, have a great day and take care. Bye-bye.